Retail media is evolving at lightning speed, and brands need smarter, more efficient ways to reach high-value shoppers. What if you could seamlessly manage both search and display ads all in one place while leveraging Walmart's powerful first-party data? Hey there, I'm Kerry Curran, revenue growth consultant, industry analyst, and host of Revenue Boost, a marketing podcast. Every episode, I sit down with top experts to bring you actionable strategies that drive real results. If you're serious about growth, hit subscribe and stay ahead of the competition. In this episode, The Future of Retail Media, Pacvue Unveils, a game changer for Walmart advertising, I'm joined by Anne Harrell. She's the head of Product Enablement at Pacvue, and she's joining me for a special episode to announce a groundbreaking launch that's set to transform Walmart's retail media network. Today, Walmart Connect allows brands to reach high-intent shoppers with first-party omnichannel data, combining both in-store and online insights for precise audience targeting, often with lower cost per click and higher return on ad spend than Amazon. So join us to learn about Pacvue's new Walmart onsite display advertising capabilities for advertisers to access premium ad placements without high entry costs for a full funnel strategy ensuring maximum impact and efficiency. Be sure to stay tuned to the end to learn Anne's advice for the best first steps to get started. Let's go. So welcome, Anne. Please introduce yourself and share your background and expertise.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Anne Harrell. I lead the Product Enablement and Evangelism team here at Pacvue. I've been at Pacvue for 5 years, which is crazy to think about. Time has totally flown. The Product Enablement and Evangelist team is basically, we sit at the intersection of our technical teams on our product and development org and all of our top tier customers. So I get to work with our top customers on a daily basis to make sure that what we're developing and innovating is best suited for their needs. All of this really stems from my background where I actually was basically one of our customers. I started in the agency world way back when, before retail media even really existed. At the time I started, I was managing, Google, Bing, traditional search. Then we started some social, and then we all started hearing about this crazy new Amazon ad network that all of our customers wanted us to work on. And so we started developing strategies for retail media as that, came into fruition. And slowly but surely, all of the big retail networks, such as Walmart that we're talking about today, started to develop those big networks that we're now building around. So really excited to chat about Walmart and kind of the evolution of retail media, being that it really has been a quick turnaround time. If you think about it, retail media is maybe 5-6 years old. And when you look at the full timeline and just seeing where we are today and the announcement that we have today, I think there's a lot of exciting momentum.
Definitely. And I know we were talking about how, you and I have both been watching the retail media e-com evolution, and it has been so rapid. I remember when, back when, to your point, wasn't that long ago, 2015, 16, when brands had to start thinking about Amazon and navigating that, as part of their paid media strategy split and integrating it. And now it's evolved so much. Like, are there other aspects or of the evolution that have really stood out to you?
I think retail media is so unique because it is at that point of conversion.
Mm-hmm.
When I think back to when I was starting my career and we were trying to get people to purchase off of a Google search, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they could just be searching to get information. At that point, you don't even know if they're shopping or not. So I think one of the biggest standouts for retail media is the data that's available,
mm-hmm.
And how folks use it. Being that it's point of conversion, we have such rich understanding of the customer journey, and so many retail media networks have started to develop analytical tools and additional ad types that are built on top of those data sets.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we're talking about like the evolution and the rapid progression of retail media, I don't think we could call anything but the data that's available and how it's being used.
Yeah, no, that's such a good point. And I remember too, when we first started, I worked with a lot of CPG brands back, 15, 16, 17. And yeah, the teams that were joining the meetings on the client side, first, it was like, sometimes it was merchandising, then it was like maybe a paid media person, then they started to have e-commerce titles, and the brand person would be in the room. But to your point, then now the data and the deep, rich customer data, their journey, how they're kind of learning and what's really driving their purchases is what makes the retail media space and the retailers, online retail, so different. And so different from a search engine where it's like one ad type, really, or one, or versus the organic listing, the visuals, right, the paid. So lots of data, lots of opportunity to optimize, to really connect with that consumer and drive that purchase. And I know Pacvue's been at the forefront of that evolution as well. So tell us more. You have exciting news coming out of the Pacvue team.
We do. So we can formally announce that we are one of the early adopters for Walmart's display onsite capabilities. So on-site display is essentially the ability to reach new audiences, to have more visual ads available on Walmart properties. It's like almost traditional programmatic, but just focused on growing on Walmart. So we're really excited about this opportunity for ourselves, but mostly for our customers, because we have so many folks who are working with us for Walmart search-based ad types. And we often get the question, how do I grow? What's the next step? And we really think that on-site display is that next step, because it allows you to focus on bigger audiences, to find new customers, and to get your brand message out.
Yeah, definitely. And so, again, having those different ad types in front of your customers and different ways to entice them or feature product attributes is so important. So talk a bit about why Walmart is so important for a brand's retail media strategy.
Well, when we're talking about retail media, everyone always starts with Amazon, which is a gimme. I think they were the first to create like a true retail ad network. But when you think about retail in general, especially in the United States, Walmart is a powerhouse. It's an omni-channel retailer, both digital and in store, and it's the number one in the United States. So first and foremost, for most brands, regardless of their size, Walmart is a necessary step in their, full paid media journey in order to make sure that they're covering all their bases. I think additionally, Walmart has some really unique value props for advertisers and brands interested in working with them. For one thing, we have found an aggregate that CPCs actually tend to be lower on the Walmart platform versus Amazon, and people actually tend to see a higher return for the dollars that they are spending. I think one big reason for that is because there's less competition in general, which means that you don't have to spend as much to show up in high value positions. And those high value positions typically result in sales. So I think just by nature of it being slightly less competitive and just the size and reach of Walmart in general, it presents a really unique opportunity for anyone who's not currently advertising on Walmart to do so. And for the people who are, to test out Walmart on-site display so that they can reach new audiences and continue to grow within that ecosystem.
Hey everyone, it's me, Kerry Curran. If you're a B2B company that sells to marketers, whether you're an agency, MarTech, or AdTech, and your revenue is either flattening, declining, or just not growing fast enough, I can help. I've spent my entire career selling, marketing, and servicing marketers, so I know firsthand the challenges they face, the buying decisions they make, and what actually moves the needle. The truth is, most marketing strategies aren't built for revenue growth, but mine are. As your fractional chief growth officer, I'll bring revenue-focused marketing strategies designed specifically for selling to marketers, deep expertise in agency, MarTech, and AdTech buying behaviors, modern go-to-market strategies that include everything from brand awareness to driving loyalty and retention, and a track record of doubling and even tripling revenue for B2B companies just like yours. So if you're tired of your stagnant results and you're ready to build a marketing engine that actually drives revenue, let's talk. Visit revenuebasedmarketing.com or connect with me on LinkedIn to schedule a consultation. Together, let's build a smarter, more profitable path forward. RBMA, Revenue-Based Marketing Advisors, we're revenue-based marketing that works.
Yeah, it's, in the days of, we're seeing brand advertising and marketing budgets get tighter, needing to do more with less, driving that effectiveness and efficiency. So hearing about an opportunity that has strong targeting, but also better return on ad spend definitely makes it a no-brainer for any brand selling on retail media. And I think too, with Walmart, you don't have to be an in-store brand as well. So talk a bit about kind of who is able to advertise through this opportunity.
Anyone and everyone is available to advertise on Walmart. I think the normal or like the most common path that you'll see is, someone is selling their inventory to Walmart to sell in store and online, and they want to promote that inventory. And you can absolutely have that path for Walmart search and on-site display. The second path that I think fewer people know about is the fact that Walmart also has a marketplace, which means that you can be a third-party seller and utilize the reach of Walmart and all of the tools that we're talking about today. You just need to go to walmart.com, and they actually have an SOP of how you can sign up for their marketplace. And then with that, you can create an advertising account for search and also a Walmart on-site display account if you're interested in kind of increasing your reach. So there's multiple pathways to advertising on Walmart, and it's not just the traditional one that everyone thinks of.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great. And so I think the fact that you don't have to have that larger, more involved relationship where you're selling in store with Walmart as well gives it it's a great opportunity for brands that are still kind of emerging into the space.
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone, when you think marketplace, people think Amazon, but you're seeing more and more marketplaces pop up with these bigger retailers. And again, all of the benefits we talked about earlier, less competition, lower costs to entry, those all still apply in the marketplace.
Excellent. So tell us more about how the new feature and opportunity, and especially what Pacvue offers to your customers, makes the advertising opportunities more effective.
Yeah, definitely. I think as a first step, for those folks who don't know, the on-site display capability is very similar to traditional programmatic. So you're setting up campaigns that are targeting audiences, not necessarily keyword searchers, which means that you have a broader reach and a lot more flexibility of how you'd like to target. Another kind of key component of display-based advertising is the creative. With traditional search or retail media search, you're typically pulling in just like product listing information in your ads. With display, you're able to actually have a much more creative flexibility. You can show multiple products. You can just focus on your brand messaging. And all of that is true for on-site display through Walmart. Because of that, though, there's a lot to manage. The flexibility comes at a cost. You have to manage more attributes. There's a lot more to test and learn. And so what we've done with the Pacvue integration and on-site display for Walmart is create automation and bulk management tools that just consolidate some of this for your teams, and it makes it a little bit easier. So for instance, when you have multiple line items and multiple creatives, we have automated rules that you can set up that basically will optimize between them. It will increase your bids, decrease your bids, adjust your budgets for you, and even turn things off and on depending on how they're performing. Otherwise, you would have to have someone go in and do that manually to make sure that you're optimizing your budget to the best of your ability. And when you have hundreds of different creatives and hundreds of different audiences, that can get quite time intensive. So the biggest value prop for using Pacvue for Walmart on-site display is the time savings and the effectiveness. You can be a little bit more effective and impactful when you're using automation as opposed to having it done manually, because your team probably doesn't want to stay up all night optimizing audiences and creatives, and they have to have a life too. So by having the automation on, you can have an always on, almost like a team member, right, running in the background, and you can make sure that you're really using your on-site display budgets as effectively as possible.
No, I think we all appreciate the resource effectiveness as well, to be able to have that automation, learning from the audiences, from the what's working, what's ad creative, what timing. I know you mentioned in the past day parting as well, so that you can kind of increase your bids automatically for the times your audiences are shopping as well.
Yeah. Day parting, bid management, budget management, audience creation and management. I think another big thing outside of automation is actually the reporting capability.
Yeah.
When we talk about solving for fragmentation and optimization, that's automation, AI. But I think there's another big component is how do I know it's working?
Yeah.
And how do I make sure that I'm looking at this cohesively with my other ad types? So something else that we've built into the Pacvue ecosystem for Walmart is the ability to look at display on-site next to your Walmart Connect search campaigns so that you can see what's performing best. You can have a flexible budget between the two, and you can see how they connect, right? Because display is always going to be a bit more upper funnel, and it's going to drive to some of these search placements. So making sure that you can measure across the two ecosystems, I think, is really important, especially as people are just getting started.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be a really valuable data point to see the lift on the search results from the display campaigns, and really having that holistic opportunity to optimize across the media types.
The biggest limitation is that typically it came at about a six-figure fee. So a lot of your ad budget was going to the managed service fees.
Yeah.
If I am a smaller brand or a smaller agency, I probably don't have that kind of budget to just push towards fees. And so the barrier to entry is very high, and you'd only see these positions being taken by brands who have a little bit of wiggle room in terms of their media budgets. With the self-service capabilities that we're creating, the fees are very minimal. And so you can use all of your media budget on actual media spend, which means that you're getting more out of each dollar. Another big value add, I think, from the self-service perspective is that you can be more flexible and adaptable. Typically, when you do managed service campaigns, it's great because Walmart does a lot of the work for you, or whichever managed service team you pay is doing the work for you. But that also means that you have less flexibility and control. So within the Pacvue ecosystem for display on-site, you're able to actually go in and adjust your campaigns in real time. You can change your goals. You can change what your KPI thresholds are, budgets, bids, all of the above. So you retain control, and with that, you have a bit more flexibility.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I think I was thinking back to, we would tell clients, oh, you need to be participating in Walmart, and thinking about that huge barrier to entry, to your point, the six-figure fee. But even I know you work with a lot of Fortune 500, the larger brands down to smaller brands, and even the larger brands need that budget efficiency. So you have resource efficiency, budget efficiency, and effectiveness, while you have improved ways to better connect with your target audience. Like, this is such a huge opportunity for any sellers within e-commerce and retail media. So it's super exciting, and it's very cool to see Pacvue being one of the first to market, one of the participating in this launch.
Agreed. We're extremely excited. We've seen time and time again, when you combine search and display-based advertising, that the impact is pretty profound. You're able to generate reach with new valuable audience sets, and then you can make sure that they stay a loyal customer. And then tracking that all within the Pacvue ecosystem allows you to kind of optimize over time. We've also found that a lot of folks who were even paying the managed service fees and running those campaigns before were doing so sporadically, that it's hard to really understand the true impact of always on display strategy. So we're really excited to let folks get into the system and have those campaigns running consistently to show the impact and the growth that they can drive from that.
Excellent. No, it's a super exciting time, especially as we started out talking about the rapid evolution of the retail media and e-commerce from the advertising perspective, but as the platforms and partners like Pacvue get smarter and smarter, it just makes advertising so much better for both the brands and for the consumers that really want to find what they're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely like to think so. Our hope is to drive impact for the brands, but also just to make shopping easier for everyone. Yeah. I think that when we talk about solving for fragmentation, it's not just for the advertisers, it's for the end user, it's for the people purchasing, and it's for the retailers. I think at the end of the day, having all of your data in one place having a more informed strategy benefits everyone involved.
For sure. And so, Anne, you've shared so many great examples. So I'm sure there's people listening that are like, I need to get started. So what's a good first step?
If you're already advertising on Walmart and you're interested in learning more about how to do so through Pacvue for our on-site display launch or for a Walmart Connect search, you can go to pacvue.com and there is an email there that you can reach out to get more information. You can also head over to Pacvue's LinkedIn. We post a lot and lately a lot about Walmart, and there will be more coming as we continue to enhance this capability. You can also reach out to the LinkedIn page and you'll get a response from one of our representatives. And last but not least, if you're interested, feel free to look me up on LinkedIn as well. I always try to respond to chats whenever possible. So if you have a question, I'd be happy to help you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Anne. I'm super excited to see the impact that this has for sellers that are just trying to grow their programs, sell more products, connect with more customers, and do it in an effective and efficient way. So love all of this and excited to see what's next. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you're struggling with flat or slowing revenue growth, you are not alone. That's why Revenue Boost, a marketing podcast, brings you expert insights, actionable strategies, and real-world success stories to help you scale faster. So if you're serious about your revenue growth, hit follow, subscribe, and drop a 5-star rating. It helps us keep the game-changing content coming because we're dropping new episodes regularly, and you do not want to miss out.